My FPL Game Week 37 team selection. We're down to the final 2 game weeks of the season. In this video, we're going to take a look at how my team is shaped up going into Game Week 37, as well as how my team performed in Game Week 36. So let's go right into it. In Game Week 36, my team scored a total of 46. I did take a point hit, a very unnecessary point hit, if I may add. So just 42 points in Game Week 36. Red Arrow down to 252k. That's back-to-back red arrows right now, which is really frustrating seeing as I'm trying to finish at least in the top 200k. But yeah, in goal, I had Allison. I honestly was really, really frustrated to have missed the deadline because Ariola was supposed to be my starting goalkeeper. But Allison returned just 2 points in that game against Arsenal after conceding, two late goals. Munoz was my first defender. He returned an assist and a clean sheet in the game against Tottenham to bring back 11 points as my first defender. Checkers, my second defender, who returned 2 points in the 1-0 loss to Aston Villa. I was honestly hoping for a nil-nil draw or at least one attacking return from Checkers in that game. But yeah, just the 2 points from him. This one came as a shocker when Nottingham Forest weren't able to, keep a clean sheet or even, get a win in the game against Leicester City. We saw them concede 2 goals and were held to a draw. So Milenkovic returned just to 1 point as my third defender. Moving on into the midfield, I started Morgan Rogers in the game against Bournemouth. He returned an assist, got clean sheet points that helped Villa clinch the 1-0 win against Bournemouth. So 6 points for him. Kevin De Bruyne was my captain. Honestly, was the most lively player on the field for Man City in that game against Southampton. But it just didn't work out, right? Southampton sat really deep in that game, defended really well, and were able to hold City off to a 0-0 draw, right? So it's just it is what it is. He was my captain. He did return 6 points for me as my captain. Mbeumo, who was my third midfielder, returned 6 points as well. He got the assist for Kevin Shad's winning goal in the game against Ipswich to return just 6 points. And my fourth midfielder was Mohamed Salah. Like I've said countlessly, I don't like Salah's running form. I only have him currently because of his high template and expected ownership. And honestly, a lot could go wrong if you don't have him and he does return some points also. He is in my, he's just been in my team, for the running. Up top, I brought in Chris Wood for Mateta. Chris Wood returned 8 points. He scored the second goal for Nottingham Forest in that game against Leicester City. Returned 8 points for me. I also took a -4, which was the pointless -4, for Matheus Cunha. I was looking to chase rank, right? Trying to target the game against Brighton, hoping that, with Wolves' current form, Cunha's current form as well, being a bonus point magnet and everything, he could get something out of that game. But just the 0 points from him, cost a penalty, got a yellow card, got substituted quite early in the game as well. So it was just really frustrating when I could have easily started Jacob Murphy, who returned 5 points on my bench. My third striker was Alexander Isak, who returned just the 2 points for me in the game against Chelsea. Although they did clinch a 2-0 win to sit third on the Premier League table as they are chasing Champions League qualification. On my bench, I had Ariola, who returned 8 points. Really frustrating to not have started him. Murphy, 5 points. Burn with an 11 pointer. What can I say, really? And then Timber with 0 points. So yeah, this is what my team looked like in game week 36. 42 points, like I said. A slight red arrow down to 252k. So yeah, let's just look at how my team is shaped up as we go into game week 37. In game week 37, I am not going to be starting Allison. And I just have a feeling that it may end up biting me. Because now that I have benched him, Liverpool will or may keep a clean sheet against Brighton. But I'm going to take the risk of, going Ariola at home to Nottingham Forest. West Ham haven't been the most decent side in terms of clean sheet, but Forest haven't looked their best in, recent games. So I'm just hoping for something there, really. My first defender is going to be Munoz at home to Wolves. Crystal Palace have been a really, really great side. I am skeptical, however, on what their performances are going to be, looking like after the FA Cup finals against Manchester City, because their performances might be really, really dependent on how that tie goes. But he is going to be my first defender in my team. My second defender is going to be Timber, whom I'm hoping makes a return to the starting XI against Newcastle United and get something out of the game, or hopefully holds on to a clean sheet before maybe he gets subbed off. My third defender is going to be Milenkovic away to West Ham United. West Ham, like I said, haven't been the best side defensively. I'm honestly hoping for a nil-nil draw in this game. I mean, a man can only hope, right? Milenkovic is my third defender away to West Ham. In the midfield, I'm going with Morgan Rogers at home to Tottenham. We don't know the XI to expect from Tottenham going into this particular game week. We may see heavy rotation. We may see, starting like a full strong XI in this game. But I do back Villa in their pursuit of Champions League. They have been on really good form in recent games. So I do think they actually, get the win in this game. So Rogers is going to be starting for me in my midfield. Salah is also going to be my second midfielder away to Brighton, Hove and Albion. He has a really great record against them, but like I said, I don't trust his running form. I may actually bench him even and just start Jacob Murphy away to Arsenal, but it's 50-50 at the moment. My third midfielder is Brian Mbeumo at home to Fulham. He's been on really great, goal scoring form for Brentford. I think he's gotten a couple of assists in his last few games. I do believe he still has a double figure haul in him in the final two games of the season, so I'm going to be starting him, and he is potentially my captain going into this game week as well. My fourth midfielder is going to be De Bruyne against Bournemouth at home. This is potentially his final home game of the season for Manchester City if he doesn't participate in the Club World Cup. So I do believe Pep gives him the start in this game as well. My up top, I'm going to be starting Chris Wood again away to West Ham. He returned an 8 pointer against them in the first leg in the Premier League. I do back him to get something out of this game as well. Um, he has produced his best ever goal scoring season in the Premier League, and I think he would want to try to add to his tally before the season runs out. So he's going to be my first attacker. My second attacker is going to be Ishak, who has scored countlessly against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, the first tie against Arsenal earlier in the season. So he just looks to have a good record against Arsenal so far this season. He is going to be my second attacker. My third attacker at the moment is Cunha, who is going to be away to Crystal Palace. I am possibly going to be looking at, moving away from him either to maybe the likes of Erling Haaland or Ollie Watkins going into game week 37, or I may choose to roll my transfer to game week 38 to, give me a lot of options going into the final game week of the season. On my bench, I have Allison, who is going to be away to Brighton. My first midfielder on my bench is going to be Jacob Murphy, away to Arsenal. He has been on excellent form for Newcastle so far this season. He's going to be my first player on my bench. My last two defenders are Dan Bourne, away to Arsenal, and Kirkes, away to Manchester City. Like I said, my captain armband currently is on Brian Mbeumo, and my vice captain is on Kevin De Bruyne. But it all depends on how my transfers go. If I decide to roll my transfer, going into game week 38, my captain is going to remain on Mbeumo. But if I do decide to bring in Watkins, I think I may just take the risk and, put the captain armband on him. So this is how my team looks like going into game week 37. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll do well to get back to them as soon as possible. If you're new around here, please like, subscribe, share this video, and see you in the next FPL video, guys.